Hi, everybody. How's everyone doing? Market worried about a default. How about that? I think that's the main reason. Dollar continuing. Tip of the hat to Blake, who has stood resolute on dollar strength and continued equity weakness. Hi, Brock, Jays, Sinatra. Hugo, how you doing? Richard, Alexander, all my trading warrior brothers and sisters, how are you? So we're getting pretty good sell-off in the market. Here's NASDAQ, which I covered Monday because I didn't think that we had a false breakdown. Looked like it was going to be a false breakdown. Another one-day rally, kind of similar to what we had Friday, but so far a higher low. Okay, so far a higher low. If they come out with the gazillion-dollar coin, yeah, and when you think about it, Richard, it's really strong because it never even got back to the breakout. Okay, never got back to the breakout. Didn't give people a chance to buy the breakout. Close, but not enough. And what's interesting with all the dollar strength we have, yen is lower. Okay, and yields were higher, looked like they were going to break out. Boy, these are tough markets. It looked like a breakout, and now because of risk off, yields are fading once again. Okay, so you really have to be nimble, and dare I say it, crude looks heavy to me. We're also diverging here on multiple time frames. What was the high up here? Almost $80. So, I mean, it would be a perfect storm. This is one of the sectors that's been holding up the market. Of course, I don't want to crash now that, that's what I was playing for, and now I'm not there. It would be salt in the wound for me. Euro's making new lows, right? But Aussie holding up pretty good during risk off. And I was hoping I'd have a better entry in gold. Maybe this was it at this candle right here. But maybe there's a chance that this isn't a failing rally. Hi, DJ. But it definitely could be. And if that's the case, the bottom's in gold, and silver getting hit a little harder because of risk off, but it's acting okay. It's a little sideways. I thought we might have a shot down here to buy it. So that's the way things look to me this morning. Maybe the dollar's on its way to 96, and if it is, then we should get a continued breakdown. We might diverge on certain time frames, but if you're thinking of fading the dollar, to me, what the strongest currency would be between the pound. Look how far off the low it is. Yeah, there's a lot of stops under 1680. I don't think we're getting there. I think that 1680 holds. Okay, that's way down there. In fact, what I think could happen, and I started thinking about this yesterday after the yen might be close to completing, is that why can't this be a continuation formation in the gold, right? I mean, since a record high, all we've done is move sideways. And when you look at it in a telescope, I know, because crypto's been performing, everyone's been knocking gold, but, we could break out over 18.5, right? And that would project to new highs. So even with dollar strength, gold's acting okay in my book, Jays. That's my view. And Ryan, good morning to you. What are you thinking? A lot of pressure in the market. Are you here? You texted. Good morning. How about Stel? Stel, weakness in the dollar.
He ain't here either.
Oh, okay.
It's just me and you, kid. Just me and you.
We've done that before.
No, I think I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Stelios, he went from a car show in Italy to a boat in the Aegean Sea on some sort of yacht, something or other. So man, that's Stelios is living the life of the rich and famous. Ryan, on the other hand, is
can you hear me?
Ryan's holed up in his garage somewhere in the
working on the internet in there.
Britain. And by the way, Ryan, I could hear you, and so could we. Ryan,
good.
Yeah,
we got you.
How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Not too bad, you.
Well, I'm not living the life of the rich and famous like Stelios, so it's not that great.
Stelios is sailing with Zuckerberg.
What?
Said. He's out with Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, I know.
We'll have to stop that discount on subs and get the rate up.
Yeah, no kidding. This guy's living the life, man.
A lot of red ink on the board, guys. What do you think?
I'm going to let Ryan go here, but I don't see any real. I mean, other than the move that we're seeing in energy markets, especially in the European hours, and I'm going to let Ryan talk a little bit about this since he's awake. Me, I kind of got up and said, "Holy cow! Look at nat gas prices." But
okay,
I don't see anything else that's really hitting the board here as far as news goes. So Ryan, what have you seen overnight?
Yeah, pretty much that. I think we're just getting one of these times where the nerves from one market is just spilling over into everything else.
Yeah,
US yields are having a little mooch up again. 156. That's causing the dollar to show a bit of strength. We're seeing cable falling, euro dollar falling. Yen pairs falling, and when you see yen pairs falling when yields are going up, you've got to think that something's a bit amiss, because they've been rising alongside yields as well. Swissy, that's being bought up versus the euro, so it looks like an old-fashioned risk-off move, and people are calling inflation, they're calling stagflation. It's just one of these times, one of these moments where the market's just a little bit edgy all round, and the gas stuff is triggering worries elsewhere and what it might mean, and FinTwit's going into meltdown. So
do you know what the symbol is for European nat gas prices? Because yes. I got what is it?
I was looking at that this morning. Now let me get it up.
And Putin's been cutting exports to people that aren't his friends, using it for leverage. Isn't that correct?
Yeah, but he's just out as well. He's just come out.
Yeah.
He's just come out and said he's boosting gas to Europe, and that's seen gas markets come off the top. On TeamViewer, it's GWM1 apostrophe.
And I do think that they're actually
here. I got the UK. Okay, got it.
Actually, fears about the default. Wow.
Yeah, and what was about ready to default? I'm sorry, Dale.
I actually do think that there are some fears about a technical default on the debt ceiling. That could be weighing on a little bit on sentiment. But this is the Forex Flow room, and one of the guys and this is not live, so that's the here. Let me. Yeah. I don't have the live futures feed for. Even on this premium account, there's some feeds that we just don't pay for, but this is what it looks like live or close to live. That was from this morning in the chat rooms in the Forex Live platform, and some of the guys in there were talking about this. This is some of the old Forex Flow people that are in all the chat rooms. We're in all the chat rooms. Obviously, we have multiple chat rooms here. But that's what it looks like now. So big moves. My God.
We were discussing how we could actually short it because, it's,
yeah.
You know what this is going to look like? I'll tell you, here's my prediction. I don't have to make predictions like this. This chart is going to look like the lumber chart in March, May. It's going to see that spike to the top, and in a month or so's time, it's going to be right back down around $100 mark.
Yeah, and by the time guys in America are talking about, UK nat gas prices, it's probably time to short it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's in all actuality, because this move just didn't start. I mean,
how do you stay long things like this all the way?
I don't know,
I've
but
never been
this
able
is
to.
the chart that Ryan's talking about as far as lumber goes, and
Right.
it's
Does look
time.
similar, parabolic, and then it ends.
Yeah, I mean, it goes but the problem we've had is because we've been discussing how we can short this, how we can get on the other side of this, and it's pretty much impossible because the forward months are literally half the price. You go out to April 22, and the price is 50% less than the front months. So that indicates it's a short-term thing going on and not a big structural problem, if you like. But you can't really short the front months because you don't know where the top is, so you're guessing. You can't get in on options because they're so expensive with the volatility. Margins are through the roof. And as I say, the forward months are 50% of the price, so they reflect reality. So how do you short it? How do you make money on that? And that's, a lot of people see charts like that and think I want to short it, but you can take a punt at the top, but what happens with people who try and pick tops.
Yeah, right. We do. You pick bottoms, you get smelly fingers. If you pick
get gray hair.
Hey, so let's shift gears a little. Let's shift gears a little bit to
no comment, Dale. No comment.
I'm gonna take us over to the Nikkei. We just sent out a tweet regarding the Nikkei, but this is a kind of a big deal because the move here, if you start breaking the neckline, you've got a double top that points us to about 15% lower from current levels, right? Okay, that's a big move. If we start cracking in, and the best way, if you're an FX trader, the best way to play it is, you got some of these yen pairs. Now, I want to point out the euro yen because the euro yen, obviously the euro's weak. And I think you got to sell rallies in euro. It was our chart of the day. It was my chart of the day yesterday. But the euro yen is at a very, very interesting spot. And if you guys don't know where it's at, I'm going to go ahead and take you over to a monthly chart of the euro yen. This is a 2008 peak in euro yen. Right here is 2014, and we are probing that breakout. It was a monthly breakout several months ago, and you can see these are monthly candles, so you can see how important this trend line is. Look at the wicks as it hits that monthly trend line. That means people keep swooping in, buying it on this monthly trend line, thinking, okay, this is going to be supportive. This is going to be supportive. At some point, at some point, buyers are going to get fed up here. And, we start taking out these lows below 128, and you're going to start to see some serious selling coming into the euro yen, in my opinion. So if you have this double top in the Nikkei, and the Nikkei starts to break down, the yen tends to gain strength when that happens. And euro yen would be one of those currencies that we could see it trading down 125 pretty easily. Look at the sterling yen. This is the guppy, you guys know, is consolidating in a triangle. 200-day moving average has been holding it pretty well, but we get below that let's just call it 150. It's going to get pretty bearish pretty quick. Aussie yen triangle, Kiwi yen triangle, and we could talk about the RBNZ here in a second. But look at the Kiwi yen, getting slammed back down towards support, and the Canadian yen, which I shorted yesterday at the 618 retracement. And by the way, if you are a ForexAnalytix subscriber, that's why that pattern in play was put in yesterday. The bearish pattern in play.
And if you're not, you have just 3 days to make a good deal on our subscription.
Thanks, Dale. Yeah. We our discounted price where you can, buy 7 months for 12 months.
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
That's
It's almost
a
50% off.
that's a silly deal that we offer our annual, and it's not my idea to do that. By the way, that was my partners. They wanted to do that.
Beware of Greeks bearing gifts.
Right.
Sorry to jump in.
Yeah, please go ahead.
ADP 568 versus
Oh,
428.
Thank
expected.
you. Thank you. Okay. So 568 versus 428 expected. So that's a good number. So, I mean, the dollar yen did spike up a little bit, but the one thing I'm going to say about economic data is it doesn't matter. In my opinion, jobs data. Actually, let me rephrase that. Bad jobs data doesn't matter. Good jobs data does matter. Does that make sense? Because good job
reinforces the taper.
Well, yeah, it reinforces a taper is coming. A bad data, we'd have to see a couple months of bad employment data for us to go, I don't know if the Fed's going to taper. That's why I told you guys yesterday, if we do get a miss on NFP, you might see some dollar weakness, but you got to buy that weakness because I don't think it's going to change the Fed's mind. We get 2 months and then it's a different story. But anyway, Ryan, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to step on your toes there. Go ahead.
No. Sorry, I was just explaining about number, but just to quickly, what we have to look at in the NFP, as we had to back in sort of 2015 and through the tape and all that, is that it switches from looking at the jobs numbers to the wages numbers. Because then that's when the inflation stuff starts kicking in. And as I say, it happened back in 2015. The NFP went on a run, the biggest run of positive numbers in its history. And the market didn't care about the numbers. All it cared about was the wages numbers. So into the new year, taper's going to be happening. Watch the inflation numbers and that'll be wages.
All right. Yeah, there you go. Thanks, Ryan. Hey, what do you got to say about the RBNZ, rate decision? And by the way, if you use ForexAnalytix, you didn't have to be in the chat room to figure this one out because, in Asia last night, said you want to sell rallies. I was basically saying, hey, you get a pop in the Kiwi, you want to sell it. When we rallied last night and I was in the middle of making dinner, we popped up to 69.80. I sold at 69.65 or 64. I can't remember exactly what the price is. I was in the chat room and did it last night somewhere. Holy cow. Let's see. I have to go way last night, which would be way over. It keeps on going.
Great trade, by the way.
Well, it wasn't though. The problem was, I don't know where it is. That was still this morning. Holy cow. It was way over there. Anyway, I sold it at 69.65, 4 or 5, and I closed it at 50 or right around there, and it just kept going. But I wanted to get on with my evening and go have dinner and spend some time with my wife. And obviously I should have just moved my stops to break even. That was stupid. But anyway, looking at the Kiwi now and what happened, what do you think it sold off so aggressively, Ryan?
Purely because it was expected. The weird thing with the Kiwi is, I've seen it where they've hiked rates and it's dropped 200 pips. It's just a completely factored in currency. The risk was whether they didn't cut at all because of the virus. So that's where the risk shifted to. So they got the 25 pips. It's the old buy rumor, sell fact thing.
Okay.
There was a few of us lined up top. I had offers in at 71, 71.50 just in case they did happen to do the 50 hike. But this is a pair that always goes the opposite way to what they do with monetary policy. If they hike rates, it's likely to go down after. If they cut rates, it's likely to go up after.
You know what? And you know what other currency is like that? And one I like to play in that fashion is the Canadian. Because the Canadian, and I'm not saying every time. Obviously, you can't just put a every time news comes out but the Canadian, like after like a good jobs number or bad jobs number on Fridays in Canada, super skeptical about trying to play it in the direction of the data. So this is one of those currencies that you do get similar price action, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, so it's joining the rest of the move. It's joining the rest of the moves today. You know, this risk off sentiment. So that's helped it as well. Same as Aussie dollar.
Yeah, the Aussie's trading a little heavier here, and I was referencing this in the chat room that we might have a little inverted head and shoulder pattern setting up. Our bias chart yesterday for those that listen to the private ForexAnalytix webinars, the 7220 level is the support we were looking at yesterday. We got as low overnight as 7225, 26. So I mean, we're right there, and that we've gotten a 20 pip bounce off of that support. You don't want to be short now at this point, knowing that that's holding. But the fact of the matter is, we start breaking back through the 72-cent level, and then you're probably going to see a pretty bearish move. I'm assuming that's gonna coincide with what we're seeing in equities. So speaking of equities, this is something that I was looking at yesterday. Nice little consolidation, triangle consolidation. The reason why I bring this up right now is because if you're looking at the S&P, getting short right now in the S&P, you might be right. We might break down, but my opinion is this is Wednesday. I wouldn't be surprised if we continue to consolidate going into NFP on Friday. I know that seems like a long time away, but it's really not. I mean, if you think about where we're at, let's call it a 4290 to 4350. So that's a 60-point range, roughly 60-point trading range in the S&P going into today, tomorrow, and then we break out up or down on Friday. That's exactly 48 hours from now. Is that a realistic expectation, Ryan? Could that potentially happen?
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. I think you've got to look at what's happening with this risk move. I mean, I think we are heading lower.
Yeah, ultimately.
I think you've been saying it for a while now, and the price action speaks for itself. If those values just keep getting hit, you've got to go with it. There's times you just don't want to fight a market. I think this is one of those times.
So what might be the better play here, and this is for those of you guys that are trading equities, and we got North America coming in. All the North American traders are stepping in. Everybody's still in the camp of I'm going to buy dips, because they're going to buy dips until they find themselves wrong. We're going to keep buy the dip. We're going to buy the dip.
Well, so far it's garden variety, less than 10%.
Yeah, well, if we get a rally back up to like 43.50, I think if you want to play it on the short side, you just you wait for a rally to get you back above like 43.30, 43.40 in the S&P, and then lay into some shorts there. I think if you're and I agree with Ryan, by the way. I think that the market is ultimately heading lower, at least in the near term. So if you want to play that to the short side, it's just tough playing it with that. You can see that triangle support right there, and that's held us now. We have like 3 touches on that. So I don't know if I'd really want to be short at this moment. But selling rallies today, might be the play, especially if you want to pre-position yourself ahead of Friday's numbers. So
the thing that's important is you when you're in a situation like this where you perhaps feel like you're trying to chase the market a bit with shorts. You don't bet the farm on it. You get into a position, if you're wrong, you get out. But then what you try and do is, don't worry about profit targets, manage the trade, see where the trades get. So get your risk down to zero as quick as possible. So if you're shorting against that trend line there, what is it, 53 odd? If you're going to short there against that trend line, if it goes over 78, you're wrong. But if you run the short, then you take a bit of profit into the lower trend line, you bring your stop down to break even, then you give yourself a chance to see if it breaks or not. And if it doesn't, you've taken some profit and you get stopped out on the balance at break even. You know, it's all about managing your risk. Get your risk to zero quickly. If it does break, then you ride it as far as you can, and you push the trade. But you don't bet the farm on it.
Yeah, especially, and I agree with you, Ryan. And in consolidation periods, this is like if I was to play this, and I'm not going to play the S&P because I've got too much other stuff going on in currencies at the moment. I'm exposed for a risk off move at this point. But if I was going to trade the S&P, yeah, you take a piece here, for example, like let's say we get to 43.40, you know, you have a, like, let's call it a third size position. Then, you know, you get back down here and you start breaking through the support here. Then you're adding to that position below here. And then, you know, you crack through this support and then you add another third. And then you get a nice momentum trade down towards, and just keep this in mind, guys. I want to show you something. Down to that 38% retracement, which is down at 4,000. But if you look at this, we've barely, and not even gotten to yet the 24% retracement, very minor retracement level of the rally from, well, basically for the last year. So the last year, you know, grind higher, we're only and barely testing the 24% retracement. So there's a lot of, you know, potential in a move here. But one last thing I'm going to leave you guys with. I've been long the, you know, for those of you guys that don't know, I've tweeted about it. I just, you know, I don't tell my Twitter people exactly where I'm getting in and getting out, you know. But if you're on Twitter, you kind of could probably sense that I've been playing the dollar Mexican peso to the long side, buying it on dips at this 2040 level the last couple of days. But I just sold out of my dollar Mex long because we hit the 161% extension, the 2080 level. You know, I referenced this the other day on Twitter that this is like the VIX. Oh, I guess I put it in the week ahead video. This is the VIX indicator of the FX market, right? So you see the dollar Mexican peso starts to perk up when volatility starts to perk up. Well, you want to see my ultimate, you know, risk off indicator right now is not necessarily the dollar Mex. It's the Euro Mex. Yeah, you got it, Dale. Look at the 200-day moving average. Yeah, we're at wedge resistance. I was just saying in the chat room, man, this is a big one. You know, we start breaking above, you know, 24.10. I don't know if I'd want to be long equities at that point at all.
That's a textbook chart. I mean, you had that big move. It retraced 50% of that big move from last year, 2020. Yeah, I mean, looks so much better than USD Mex.
Yeah, I mean, this is when when people are buying back the Euromex, this is like one of those those carry trades that, you know, a lot of portfolio managers just lay into. You know, any rally, they just like, I'm buying Mexican pesos, selling euros. I'm just selling a big funding currency as much as I can, buying pesos. When that stops working for them, it's usually because they're you know, cutting profits here to make up for losses elsewhere. So that's just something just to keep in mind. I think the Euromex is one of those that if it starts to explode above the 200-day moving average, the last place you're going to want to be is long equities. So just a little I thought I'd mention that really quick. Thanks. You know, I know we don't have you had a cancel today for your interview, but before we let you go, Ryan, you know, can you talk a little bit about the giveaway that we have here?
Yeah, sure. For those that don't know, you'll see it on Twitter, on the blog. We've got we're doing our usual monthly NFP competition. Guess a number, and you got 3 people who come closest will win a free month on the ForexAnalytix platform. If you're a current subscriber, you'll get that tacked onto your subscription. If you're not a subscriber, it gives you a chance to come in and have a look, see what we do for a month. No risk, and hopefully you'll like it and stay. But if not, you'll see what we do, and, you know, just pick a number, get it in the post there on the Twitter replies, and have a crack and good luck.
You're like the Richard Dawson of the FX world.
And
You're
I
like
got
a game show host.
It is, man. Seriously. No, it's great. And guys, it's free. Just jump in there and make your guesses for the NFP. And if you win, like Ryan said, if you're part of the ForexAnalytix community and you win, we just tack on 30 days to your subscription. And many of you that are, who always wins? And she might be listening in right now. She's always on the daily roundup and she's always on the morning edge, is Catherine, who probably lives not too far away from you, Ryan. She's there in the UK. She wins all the time. Like she's won gear. I've had to send her and she's like, well, it's men's clothes. I'm sure she probably uses it to sleep in, whatever. But she's won months, and I'm like, man, and she gets annual subscriptions, because she's been with us for years, and seems like so you guys got to nudge her out somehow. No offense, Catherine, if you're listening in. But yeah, you guys got to try to win there.
We need a league table for ForexAnalytix team members. We need to know who's good and who's not in this thing.
Yeah. I got. I can honestly say, and I tell this to everybody, I'm the worst non-farm payroll guesser on the face of the planet. So I'm in. I'm jumping in. I'm going to jump in there and make my guess, because I guarantee if you just get on the opposite side of me from my guess, you're probably going to win. So I'll be.
Don't forget to enter Stelios's guess, Ryan. He's on a boat. It's
the
mark of the beast, 666.
666, yeah.
Was Stelios's guess.
We'll mark him down.
But by the way, if you guys didn't see this chart of the day for the euro dollar, let me just be real clear here. As far as the euro goes, I am a buyer of the euro, but at lower levels. This is an example of like the euro dollar broken the monthly trend line. I do want to be a buyer down here at like the 112, 113 level. That's going to be the 618 retracement. Yeah, if we can get down there in the coming months, I may say months, could be weeks. I mean, we see a little bit of a spill in equities. Let's say the S&P drops to 4,000. That's going to usher in some dollar strength. Probably put the euro back down at 113. 112 and change, and I'm gladly going to get long down there. Same thing with the Aussie. If the Aussie can get down to 70 cents, that's a place I really want to be long. So, but I think you gotta respect that the dollar continues to grind out new highs here. So, all right, that's it for me.
Jatin took up the offer.
What's that?
Jatin Patel.
Oh, nice.
A message there.
Good. Let's see you in the chat room, Mr. Patel. Love to see you in there. So get in the chat rooms, get chatting with us. Welcome to the family.
I'm the black sheep, Dale Pinkert.
All right. Well,
you're the shepherd. You're the shepherd.
The shepherd
that keeps all us flocking in line.
Yeah. Oh boy. Follow me.
All right, guys. Well, hey, we'll see you on the morning edge. It starts in about 45 minutes. So I'll see you guys there. Dale, Ryan, thanks for spending the time today. And guys and gals, thanks for joining us today.
And tomorrow we have Angie Setzer, goddess of grain, and with what's going on in commodities, it's going to be a great interview to see what China's doing with grains, etc. Okay,
awesome.
That's tomorrow. So
awesome.
Stay up all night and get ready for tomorrow.
Yeah,
and good hunting, everyone. And remember, most of all, I know we're all out here, making money, looking for pips, but look around at your life and realize that if you're doing this, how fortunate you are compared to the rest of the world that have to make many people have to make a decision between, should I buy my medicine or should I buy food while we're speculating in the market. So count your blessings, not just your pips. And
Amen.
That's a wrap.
Very well said. Thanks, Dale.
Take it easy, everyone. Good hunting.